What a wild week one in the NFL. Now it's time for Monday Night Football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and man, was that a fun day. Win or lose, that was exciting. It's nice to see NFL back, that's for sure. Wild things that happened. Let's just go over a few real quick right here at the intro. Browns held the Bengals to 7 net yards in the second half and lost the game thanks to a missed extra point and field goal. Jets offense made the Steelers defense look like they are the Panthers defense. Coach McDaniels may get fired even quicker than I anticipated for the Dolphins. And then the hype on the Patriots took a nice hit in week one as they lose at home to the Raiders. And what an insane win by the Buffalo Bills right there on Sunday Night Football. That was wild. But anyways, Sunday overall for us, a very small losing day. We can handle it. Again, week one is like week 4 of the preseason, trying to feel things out, gather data and things like that. So close, one missed field goal away from a profitable day. But we had great player props, not so great on the game bets. We'll go over that in just a little bit. But before we get into all that, of course, any graphics you see in this video are from OUTLIER. It is the best betting research tool on the market today. Click that link below. You get a 7-day free trial. So let's get into it, and I'm just going to go over a little NFL Week 1 fun fact that I just saw. The unders on Sunday went 11-2. If you were betting a ton of overs, you lost your butt, that's for sure. And one of the 2 overs was the Steelers and Jets. That was the lowest total on the board. Welcome to the NFL. It's time, baby. But anyways, in this video, we're going to recap the weekend on Sunday, and then we're going to preview and give our best bets for Monday Night Football between the Vikings and the Bears. And then, of course, we'll finish it with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below to help this channel continue to grow. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and come join us all season long. So let's get it rolling. And that means it's recap time. All right, here is Sunday's recap. We start with the bad part, the game bets. Giants plus 6.5. What an idiot trusting this team. Their offense was terrible. Their defense did what I thought they would do. They would slow down Jaden Daniels, and they actually kept him in the game, but it was just all the offense. The defense was out there for too long, and they couldn't quite hold it off all the way to the end, and Russell Wilson sucked. The offense sucked, and I should never bet them again. Over 46.5 Tampa, Atlanta. I watched so much of this game, and it was brutal to lose that way. Younghoe Koo missed a 44-yard field goal, I think it was. That would have taken us into overtime with 46 points, and we would have hit the over. I mean, they would have had to not score at all in 15 minutes. So, missed field goal cost us the win there. This team total parlay, Jags easy. Jets, my goodness, I don't even know what to say. I had no idea the Jets were gonna score 30 or 40 on the Steelers, and they did. So I just take the loss. Again, we pick up where we were last year. Game bet struggle. And the player props carried us because we were one bet away from a 5-0 sweep. Fields under pass attempts, easy winner. Olave over 47.5 receiving yards, not easy, sweaty till the end. Hunter Henry over 3.5 receptions, sweaty to the end, but you know what? Plus 135, we will take it any way we can. Lamar Jackson over 1.5 passing touchdowns, gets it done in the second half. And then Jameson Williams, I don't even hate the read. It's more just the whole offense stunk. I mean, I had a tweet about it, or X. What do you call it? Do you call it an X? I don't know. Anyways, the whole Lions offense was terrible. The running backs themselves had like 12 catches, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown and Williams together had 6. I mean, it was just dump off after dump off. They did nothing offensively. It was atrocious to watch. So, anyways, anytime touchdowns. When you go 1 and 2 and you're mostly plus money, it's pretty much break even. We lost just a little bit here. Brian Thomas got it done on a carry, just like I thought he would, of course. And then Jahmyr Gibbs. Again, that's just because the Lions barely had any chances to score. And then Njoku touchdown just did not get the job done. I watched a decent amount of that game. I don't think he had a chance in the end zone, but I could be wrong. But either way, that's what we got for the Week 1 bets recap. And there is the record on page 2 now. And I'm going to break it down sides and totals, player props, and anytime touchdowns. I might have some ladder plays or ladder parlays like we did last year. Or something like that. And if we do, we'll get into that. But of course, it's week 1, week 2. I'm not going to go absolutely crazy. All those bets were a half unit. I might slowly start mixing in 1 unit plays here in week 2 or week 3. But that's what we got for the overall record now. 5-6 down 0.31 units. And yeah, it's time now to talk the Vikings and the Bears. All right, before we dive into this game, I did want to mention on the last screen, we did go 4-1 on the leans that we went over in the best game bets. So hopefully those gave you some winners, but we're going to keep doing that every single week. We're going to give you a ton of leans, and then, hopefully the best bets do better than the leans, but just trying to give you guys as much info as possible. But I'm ready to dive in now. We are heading out to Chicago where the Bears host the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings -1.5. Total has gone down to 43.5 now. Before we get to the bets, just quick trend. Since 1998, underdogs in week 1 on Monday Night Football, how about 29-13-1 against the spread? That's not too bad. But in their 2 meetings last year, Vikings won in overtime in Chicago. They shouldn't have won, but 30-27, and then they won 30-12 in Minnesota. Some Bears numbers. They have gone under their win total overall in 4 straight seasons. That's the longest active under streak in the NFL. That does not help you for this game. It's just info. Bears are 11-6 to their team total over in home games the last 2 seasons. And then Vikings coming off an incredible 14-3 season last year. The J.J. McCarthy era, though, has started for them as Darnold is now a Seahawk, and we put up practically no yards today. But they have high hopes for the rookie, obviously, after missing last season. Some ATS numbers from last year. Vikings 4-3-1 ATS on the road last year. Chicago, an impressive 5-2-1 ATS at home last season. They did play well at home. But let's dive into the best bets. I'm going to have a prop, and then I'm going to have a side as my bet. And we're going to start the prop off with a nice plus money one. DeAndre Swift over 2.5 receptions, plus 120 is where I got this one on Bet365 for a half unit. So let's talk Mr. Swift here. And I love this value. He was not an efficient runner last season. Averages 3.8 yards per carry, 9 breakaway runs out of 253 carries. Breakaway runs are 15 plus yards. So as a runner, not much of a, north-south, just run you over or anything like that, not punishing defenders. He does his best work in space whenever you watch him. You know who else knows that? Ben Johnson. Johnson loves to scheme running backs open in the passing game. Last season as the Lions offensive coordinator, the Lions running backs were top 5 in running back targets. They were number 1 in running back receiving yardage and yards per route run. It's a huge part of his offense. Not just that, DeAndre Swift played with Ben Johnson in 2021 and 2022. Guess what happened in that span of 2 years with him? Swift was top 5 in targets and receiving yards. He was over 2.5 receptions in 23 of 27 games. That is pretty impressive. That doesn't always equal, a new team and all that, but this is his system and this is what he likes to do. In 2022, actually, Swift averaged 5 targets per game under Johnson. If you're getting 5 targets as a running back, you should be catching at least 3 of them. Now he faces the Vikings. Last season allowed the 12th most targets to running backs. Linebackers can struggle in coverage. Actually, pace was 78th out of 78 qualifying linebackers in this coverage grade. So I almost went with his over receiving yards too. I don't mind that either. But at plus 120, I love this one. Give me Swift over 2.5 receptions. That's my first best bet. Now, the second one. Give me the Bears on the money line. Plus 105 on Bet365 for a half unit. I don't want the points. I don't want them. I don't need them. The wrong team, in my opinion, is favored here. The Bears had a great offseason. Huge upgrades on the offensive line. Williams was sacked a league high 68 times last year, as most of you fans know. Added Joe Thuney. Or Tooney, I think is how you pronounce it. Jonah Jackson and Drew Dahlman. Tooney is an elite guard. I mean, he is a stud. Dahlman is a great center as well. This is going to make life so much easier on Caleb Williams in this offense. They drafted tight end Loveland in the first round as well to pair with Cole Kmet. On defense, they added Dio Odeyingbo, I think I said that right, as an edge rusher to go with Montez Sweat, which we saw him last year for them. Signed Grady Jarrett, decent veteran. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, so a decent combo there in the backfield or as DBs. Vikings got new pieces on this team, led by the defense last year. They gave the 5th fewest points in the NFL, created a lot of turnovers. Greenard and Van Ginkel both had double-digit sacks. I know they're counting on second-year guy Dallas Turner as well, but starting safety is 36-year-old Harrison Smith. I mean, again, he's had a great career, but he's 36 years old. Offensively, this is where I struggle to want to back the Vikings. This is why I like the Bears. It's McCarthy's very first game in the NFL. That's not easy to do, especially on the road in Monday Night Football prime time. This is going to be a tough environment for him. Jordan Addison also is number 2 receiver. He is going to be out. Justin Jefferson, he's playing, but I don't know if he's a full 100%. He's been dealing with an injury issue. Running back room is just okay. I think Jordan Mason eventually takes over for Aaron Jones. But overall, I think this Vikings team is due for some regression this year. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. I don't think we see them winning 14 games. They had a lot of things go right last year, winning some close games and things like that. So I think these teams are much closer. To be an underdog at home, you're saying the Vikings are better by a decent amount, like over a field goal here. And I don't know if I see that. Again, we got Ben Johnson really changing this offense. And an offensive line which completely can change your entire offense and how you are as a quarterback, especially. You're not worried about getting sacked on every play. He just has to get rid of the ball a little quicker as well. But I like Chicago to play pretty well here at home on Monday Night Football. So give me Dub Bears on the money line. That's my second and final best bet for this game. I may have a third out of bet. I don't know. There's some things I'm running around in my head right now. But if I do, it'll be in the pinned comments below on X, Discord, the website, all the usual places. So that's what we got for Monday Night Football. Before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. My two best bets for Monday Night Football. DeAndre Swift over 2.5 receptions. We're going to take a shot at plus 120 for a half unit. And then the Bears on the money line at plus 105 for another half unit. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I am already excited to dive into week number 2 in the NFL. It's going to be a really fun season. But if you haven't already, hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And just a reminder, MLB Best Bets video will also be out for the Monday slate. So be sure to check it out. But hope you have a great Monday. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you soon.